It's hello guys, welcome back to a chat video. Just a little update. Yes, I'm at home today because trains are on strike again, so I can't do much. They're on strike from today until next weekend, so I'm glad I got able to film yesterday. Because this is basically a reasonably long update what's going on with the railway. And the reason why I'm not in Dawlish like I usually am on Saturday, one of the reasons because trains on strike, there's a lack of crew, and with the union they're with means that they can't run, and a lack of staff and train drivers. And of course, and as I've been watching Alex HD channel, he does reviews on on trains, and yes, I kind of feel the same way as he's reviews it with train crew and the staff just don't care about their passengers, and I kind of feel that. So I kind of get what he's pointing out with that sort of situation, because I've been on the train many times going to Dawlish. As you can see, as I post on my train channel, I do post quite regularly on the railways, the main lines at the moment. Yes, I would like to catch up on the heritage lines and just do a bit more on that end of the railways. And because the reason I'm mainly filming on the main line at the moment is because all these special HST sets are going off the line on the 18th of September. And I can't, well, I have never mainly seen the whole of my life. I've not really seen much of the intercity sets. I saw it a few times in my life when I was growing up, when I was really young. But obviously, when I was really young, and I was only a wee lad back then, I remember seeing the intercities. Well, only 5 years before they took them off and they repainted them in these purple, bluey First Great Western liveries. And they were cross countries, and you had GNR, HSTs, East Coast, and you had them Bundravers, Sided, Grand Central, and Virgin, of course, before the Voyager. And they had the Pendolino later on, which is the new model. And now Avanti's took over that route. So Voyager's going back to the original colours, to the Virgin livery. And their nicknames are Voyager for a reason. They had to take capability of tilting. Also with the Pendolino, with its Vantry livery, I haven't seen the Pendolino in donkey's years. But yeah, so it'll be interesting when I go up to what's that name? I'm planning on going up there next month, up to the thingy, what's the name thing? Gloucester. I was planning on going up to Gloucester next month, see the trains. Somewhere new, somewhere different to film. Planning to get a new tripod soon, so this one won't be used for too much longer. I will get a small new tripod as well, because my NAF one, which is this one I used for low shots down on the floor, on stations, on Dawlish Royal Station and Dawlish Station itself, and of course at Newton Abbot and a few other areas. I've filmed from catching catching the trains with this one, but that's from really close down. You can look like you can actually ride on it, but it's just an observation. This little tripod is very helpful when you want to get particular angles on the platform, and you can make it look like it's model form sized, and then the full sized thing, it kind of makes it look like a model, which is kind of cool. But if It's just a little street, little cheap tripod which I use for stations, and this big old one which I use for specials and HST events. But yeah, I got other things to mention. As yesterday evening when I was coming back on the painting train, which was a Voyager, of course it was only going up to Paynton, but it was a Voyager, cross-country Voyager going up to Paynton, and yes, and then the second one I was on, another Voyager, 221 or 222 sets, was going up to Plymouth, and that's where it terminated for the evening, but it came from Cardiff Central, so it was running 20 minutes late. So I didn't get back to Plymouth until like half eight, quarter to nine, so it was running rather late. So, of course, the only day of next week I can able to film it would be on a Thursday. So I'm going to have to take the opportunity to film next Thursday somewhere, maybe Exeter to Teignmouth. Yeah, because that one's just one stop down from Newton Abbot, so I might go up to Teignmouth, film from Teignmouth's point of spot, and maybe do quite a fair bit of Exeter St David's as well. And maybe do the odd one or two bits between the Teignmouth and Dawlish stations, do a little bits in between. Not do too much of Dawlish because I didn't doing quite a lot of Dawlish stuff. I do like the place, I really do. Going to Dawlish quite regularly. I think it's one of my happy places I go to quite regularly. It's a little bit overwhelming with heavy amount of people there, which I do find it a bit difficult to film when I've got too many people around. But when it's quiet and it's very peaceful, yes, it's a nice place to be. I forgot what it's like to be in an area where it's so crowded in the summer, but it's so quiet in the winter. And I will bring up this next thing shortly. I want to talk about the railways first. Yes, I will be back going to Dawlish, and there's a lot of events with A4 Mallards. It's repetitor, not the A4. The one that had the special chimney and it has its own measurement train testing the high speed of its capability of Mallard herself, which still housed at Yorkshire Moors Heritage Centre up in York. So she's still there. I have no idea if she's out for a run down between Devon and Cornwall at all this year or not. But I think it's past her with the other Mallard, which is the very dark blue one, has been running around quite a lot. And there was another one which called the Pathfinder Steam Train, which I've seen in May. I didn't see much of it. I only saw that one once. It was a dark green one. And of course, I did see the Flying Scotsman way back in April. I saw Pullman in April too. That's the first time I ever seen the Pullman. And it was also the first time at that point in my life I ever went to Dawlish, and I did love the place. It's been there and it's been quite enjoyable. Definitely, that's why I go there so often. I do enjoy going there. I mean, it's just the scenery. You got the beach alongside the railway, and you got the footpath somewhere in between the two. Dawlish One's got a little fun fairground, and it's got little shops. And Dawlish station itself is just, there's still a reasonable sized platform. It's not too big, but it's not too small, so it's somewhere in the middle. It's been extended at the moment. It's longer, and they put another footbridge in, which has got more mobility access with lifts from high level to the lower level. So the path has been closed off, so they use the mobility ramp at the moment to people have to use to go down through the car park and then down. But obviously, with that in mind, they reckon that this whole striking system, which I'm going to bring in properly in a moment, because the way they set this all up, and they're not really planning out properly with using that in another tunnel route. I mean, why can't they just put extra gates in to allow people on and off the platform during the time when they're doing upgrades to the railway stations? Doesn't that make more sense? That's why Access to David's got multiple areas where you can go down the steps or down the lift. With Dawlish Station, which is the downfall of it, it's only got steps, which is not mobility friendly for people who have literally wheelchair bound or people with pushchairs, prams with youngsters. Makes it not very easy for those sort of people. Excuse my voice has gone peculiar. But yeah, the next thing I want to mention is, yes, I know there's a lot of upgrades going around on the railway with Network Rail and with GWR, cross country sets, and I know for a fact the HSTs are taking off the lines completely at the end of this year. That's going to be Intercity, going to be taking off the railway line, the end of this month, well, next month. Yeah, they're going to go off the railways entirely for the end of next month, 18th of September. And the Castle's going to go off the lines entirely by the end of this year. So I have no idea what they're planning to put in replacement from the Castles and the cross-country HST sets. I have no idea. Because there's the Voyagers with the Vanti. So the Voyagers are putting the Vanti, which is going to be with the Pendolino sets. So what are they going to use with the new systems? I mean, they can't lie just on the two car sets, 150s and the 158s, and the turbos. They can't just rely on those 3 trains as well as the London Paddington trains, which the London Paddington trains are not that comfortable. They look rather posh on the outside. The cabs set up with the headlights, that's quite cool. But the inside is a complete pig zero mess. It's not great. I know, because I've been on the Jones quite a lot recently. I went on it yesterday afternoon, going down the path. Not yesterday, the day before. Yesterday I went down on, what was it? I was on one of the class 66 going down to Exmouth. Obviously, I only got off at Dawlish Station. And of course, on the way back, I went on 2 Voyagers, which they're much nicer trains, they're much nicer. Yeah, so there's they're going to be relying on these new trains. So there's going to be new trains coming up with Javelins, Class 150s, there's going to be 158s, turbos, and of course the Javelins, which going to be the other replacements? What's going to be replacing the Castles? What's going to be replacing the cross country HSTs and Voyagers. What are you going to do with those? Are they going to be placing them into Class 250s? So that the Zyro sets? Are they going to replace them with the turbos, the Class 170s, 175s, the 180s? Or are they going to go plonking on the Class 142 Pacers? I would be laughing my head off if they decide to do something like that. I mean, I'm looking forward to going on Pullman, which definitely looking forward to in a few years' time. And yes, yes, I am going to go up to Gloucester next month. I do apologise. My voice has just gone weird. My voice has gone. No, you're not talking today. I think my voice has gone peculiar. Always have days like this. There's sometimes my voice gets so peculiar like this because I've been out in an area where it's so heavy crowded by people. And there's a lot of different smells over there, which most of them are nice, but I mean, you've even got people coming on the stage and smoking and things like that. That's not nice. It's just, yeah. But people still do it, and I don't understand why, because they have a policy on the railway, on the station and trains where they wouldn't allow people doing such things. But on the other hand, they're not allowed to drink alcohol on trains, which is a bit weird. So the policy is very messed up. I think the train limits there should be no drinking alcohol on trains, no smoking, no anything inappropriate. And I mean, it does happen in most reasons, like train breaks down or do overtime, do take in response where something is needed. Also carefully, passengers are paying for the tickets to be on that train at that point. And so line people need no way to get home by using taxis or buses, which not everyone can afford. On top of that, there's people with vulnerabilities, with somebody with very severe autism or someone with severe epilepsy, or anyone's young lady being heavily pregnant with someone. These and vulnerable old people which need somewhere to sit down. All those category of people need to know in advance when these things happen. Most people can drive. Obviously, I can't at the moment, but I am looking to get back into driving. It might do me good to actually get myself out, buy a cheap car, and just go and see the trains whenever I want, basically, which would be quite nice. But yes, the trains are not very eco-friendly with people, and they're not really well advanced with either weather or the situation. Train strikes have been going on. Train strikes have been going on for nearly a year, which is utterly stupid. They should have made a deal some time ago, but they haven't. If that was me to make that choice, I would have probably made them to do overtime separately, whatever deal they got with them, and just let them allow the passengers get on the journey they need to get on to their destination. But the other weird thing I had yesterday happen to me was on the way back from Dawlish. This lady asked me. This lady was asking me. I hadn't truly been on a proper date ever in my life. She asked me out, seeing how it went, and after the whole day of yesterday, she got weirder and weirder asking me things like, multiple different questions, and my brain was overwhelmed. And plus that, the train I was on going from Newton Abbey up to Plymouth was jam packed. So much of the train was nice, and I was on the train earlier yesterday afternoon, was on a cross-country HT, even better. My most favourite trains up there, HSTs at the top, second one down was the Voyagers, lower down all the more blah ones. So, I think between the 50-year-olds, or nearly 50-year-old HSTs, between maybe nearly 30 to 40 years old Voyagers, they're just the nicest trains. But you got more modern ones like the Javelins, you got the 150s, you got the 158s from the 80s. I mean, come on. I mean, I do like the cargos too, they're pretty cool. They put these heavy containers systems going through. Actually balmy, but occasionally you do pull a special train too. Not very often though. But yeah, this lady yesterday, she just asked me questions that I have no clue to do. So I had to block her. Yesterday evening when I got home, blocked her, removed her. Don't let people, just be careful. If there's some person asking you online, be very kindly to say no. I wouldn't trust people, and I still don't trust people entirely. I felt it was alright to start with on Thursday, and I thought, okay, let's see where this goes. And it started off alright, but she suddenly started asking these weird questions. And some people at George One yesterday, pointing and laughing things, people being one gender or the other, And what's wrong with people being bisexual, gay, straight, whatever. There's always people who try to ruin it, which is always boggles the mind. I might walk around wearing my favourite necklace, but the symbol doesn't mean just one particular thing. The word pride means it can be both genders, which some people might boggle the mind quite heavily, but no, I'm not saying that. People are into that sort of thing. People are attracted to same sex. It's fine. There's a lot of people out there who are, but for those people who like to take advantage of others, who are into that, it's not cool. It's not cool. It's not a joke either. People get offended. Very seriously, but people are that way inclined. People do get offended by it. As for myself, I am bisexual. I like men and women in a sexual way. I'm not gonna hide it, but that's who I am. Doesn't matter if I'm wearing a pearl necklace. Even me being bisexual, proud means both. Alright? For most people who don't understand what that means. Proud means You can either be bisexual or you could be gay. It does not matter. As long as you're happy being yourself, in your own gender, in your own body, and also know what you like, which is an important thing. But if people turn you down because the way you look, the way you act, the way you talk, it's kind of turns people off. Talk to you, physically. And I've been scarred with relationships before, which it's just boggles the mind. But I'm not going to say any names. But her from God was the big factor in my life. And the thing is, I did have a crush over her when I was first knew her many years ago. I did have a crush over her. I didn't know much about her. And I had opinions over her for a long time, but this is the first lady I ever asked her on a date. She was odd character, but yeah, I do have things for when I was at college with her. And I don't know what changed. I think something just came up and her attitude just changed towards me, and just something else changed my mind about something. But then you have someone like yesterday when some lady asked me out, and then Sunday asked me things like money, which I don't know her. And then instantly try to call me as well. Don't trust people. Don't trust people online. It's definitely not worth it. But yeah, I am quite annoyed with the fact that railways are constantly on strike. It means that I can't see other areas of the railway between Dublin, Cornwall and beyond, because the Pullman went through and Newton Abbey yesterday, which was probably mine, but it never came back through until 5:30 this morning, which is very early. So obviously it was going from Plymouth to the other side of Scotland. It goes all the way up north of Scotland somewhere, and then it comes back down for like a few days, and it goes back up. But yeah, I'm quite annoyed with the railways companies and the people on behind them. I'm not coming to agreement with the companies are working properly and things like that. And yes, I'll probably take another break during next month sometime. I've got too much to do still. I'm feeling like at this point at the moment, I feel like I'm burnt out, constantly trying to keep myself up, motivated, trying to do new things, but things I'm passionate about is trains, not just the model form, but also the real life trains in the real world. Every time, I don't spend much time filming on the model stuff. I am really honest about that. I don't spend that much time to play with my model trains or do anything with them at the moment, but it's because I have no motivation at the moment. I got no, what's the right word? I've got no interest to really decide what to do with it all yet. Of course, once I start putting legs down on it and start to have it on top of support, then my next step will hopefully would be putting cork down, bars down, putting roads in, starting wiring point motors in. That would be the idea, to make it as realistic as possible, but also really HST Heritage Trust. So there's going to be a lot of HST. There might be the odd Voyager into this lot, but I'm not sure. It's mainly going to be diesels for this dream out of mine. It's just going to be nice to make aims for the HST collection to have many as possible. What I'm going to do with steam engines, well, the ones I own already, they're going to be run as once in a while, occasionally, like they would on the mainline for special events. But my steam engines I already got, like the Bullard, the Pug, the tank locomotive, the tender ones, and the pannier, all going to be put on the shelf somewhere and run just occasionally, not regularly. So they're going to be mainly diesels to run on this layout, all HST based. Intercity, cross country, First Great Western, GWL Castle Set, GNR, East Coast Virgin, Grand Central, East Midland, Intercity Squire Set, and there's of course the Pullman Set. There's going to be loads of different HST sets on the stream layout of mine. It's going to be HST everywhere. Most of them are going to be on shelves when I'm not running them, just giving them for display purposes during. So when I'm working on the railroad, they can be up in shelves. That way they're not going to be in the way and they won't get broken. So that's pretty good. But obviously I'm going to have to think about a 4, probably maybe a 6 car up on the shelf, just for display purposes for some of the characters I can't put on the board. And I'll switch the carriage around from time to time to make sure everything is going to be ready for when the trains are going to be here. Once I got the main 3 this year, I'll get the main 2 next year to get the other 2. So it'll probably be mainly going to be the First Great Western set and a Virgin set would be the next 2 to get. Because I do need a new power car on the First Great Western set, and I will get a Virgin set and hope I can find some carriages to go with it. If I can find a cross country set, HST pack, then I'll put it on the layout as well. But that one's coming really hardly difficult to get now. It's really difficult. I'm going to do a live stream during next week, but I probably won't post much next week. I'll post as normal on Thursday. I'll probably post on Monday. I'll probably miss Tuesday, so there'll be no gameplay this coming Tuesday. But there will be a chat video for you on Friday, or would it be Saturday? It'll be either Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure yet. And then Sunday, no filming because it's my day off from that. So, and then of course, next month it's going to be filming some days of the week, so there'll probably be one on either Tuesday or Wednesday. Other days there's going to be some studying, there's going to be filming. I think what I might actually do is to study during a certain period during the day to get my things that I need to get done. Other points during the day, so they'll be filming it in afternoon, studying in the morning, filming in the afternoon, have some smart lunch, have a bit of chill out time, and then in the evening do a bit of reading, not too much, but and then chill out for the evening, have dinner, play games or watch a movie, and then get up at 6 AM, start all my day over again, and then hopefully get into driving next month as well. So hopefully I can just please get my life somewhat a bit better. But at the moment it's tricky. And yeah, quick note, don't trust people online who try to ask you an update. You don't know them, don't trust them. Don't trust strangers in general. They come up to you and they ask you things like that. Just kindly say no. It's the best option. I mean, I'm part of the HST group on Facebook now, which is brilliant because I'm getting to know people and they're into the same passionate trainer I am. So it's really nice to see people are in the same trains I am. But there's other people who like to think steam engines are better. Well, I'm sure there are a few steam engines that are rather nice as they're going at speed, like Mallard and the Flying Scotsman. Those are two of the iconic steam locomotives out there. Of course, lower down in that list, you got Blackfire, Evening Star, and you got the City of Truro. And of course, you've got the Brig 12s and the Halls, the Castles. You've got a many selection of different trains out there. But yeah, this is a bit of a weird and ramble video, but I wanted to talk about a few of these things because if I don't, I'll probably forget about talking about it. I thought at least doing this little rant, which means I can talk about it and share my opinion about it. Yes, I've got plenty more things to do. I got my room to tidy this afternoon, so I need to crack on and get that done. So I've got a lot to do. This week's just not gonna probably get all done today, but I'm gonna do at least an hour, get my room tidy, get some music on, get at least a starting point on it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little interesting video and a bit of a ranting video about situations happened to me yesterday. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, or you didn't, let me know in the comments below. And see what the comments and questions will bring. And hopefully I will do a live stream soon, hopefully very soon during next month. My goal is to actually get a live stream at least once this autumn before I lose the opportunity of not able to do it for quite a while. But I'll talk to you guys soon enough, and hopefully I'll bring up a live stream as soon as I've got the available time, which at the moment it's getting tricky, and I probably will need a break soon. My head is overwhelmed with things at the moment. But it was nice to see the In-City and In-City's Father's Day yesterday. That was rather nice. So definitely was a good thing to at least see that. And the car as well, HST set as well. Didn't able to see the poor window on the way into Newton because I was already on the train. Never mind. Here's what it is. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. And peace out.